What is going on, everybody? Hey, I'm Tylerriley with River Valley Realty here in Russellville, Arkansas. And I have JW Stratton with us from Shelter Insurance. This channel is going to be talking about all things real estate. And in this video, we're going to be talking about the things you need to know to get your new home insured. So the first question is, what is homeowners insurance and what does it cover?
And basically, you're looking for your standard insurance policy. Most of the companies will work off of a standard policy. So you're looking at your fire, your wind, your hail, your tornado coverage, and also for basically just like water damage, not flood, but just water damage. So if you have a hot water tank bust or you have a refrigerator line go out, that's sudden and accidental. And there's some things that you need to realize that sometimes rot, repeated seepage, that stuff is not covered under the homeowner's policy, but we're looking for just an instantaneous loss. So if you have a hot water tank bust and we're flooding the floors, we're here to cover you.
Oh man!
But also on the liability end of it, that's another thing. That's another part of the policy that no one really thinks about. They're just saying, how much coverage do I need for my home and how much is it going to cost? But at the same time, you need to realize that there's a liability issue if you've got an unfit swimming pool or an unfit trampoline and a neighborhood kid comes in and breaks their arm.
Wow.
You've got to have coverage for liability. So that's a major point that I always look at. If you've got net worth or wealth, always look at an umbrella policy to provide an extra layer, basically an umbrella, over your base liability limits.
You mentioned on water damage with flood insurance and those kind of things. Do people need flood insurance?
Yes, if they are in a floodplain. And here's how the National Flood Insurance Program, NFIP, National Flood Insurance Program, they take their role and push it to the banks. So if you have a loan on a home, you need to make sure with your lender or the closing agency who you're dealing with if you're in a floodplain. Because if you have a loan on that home, the National Flood Insurance Program, which is federal government, will dictate that you have to have flood insurance on your home. Now, if you pay cash for your home, you don't have to have it if you don't want it.
Okay.
But just make sure that there's a 100-year plane, there's a 500-year plane. Just be careful on that end of it, because some people say, never gonna flood in my neighborhood, not gonna happen to me. But if you take out a loan with a lending institution, they will require you to carry flood insurance. And that could be a major contributor to how much you're gonna pay for insurance and flood insurance.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I've seen, if you're above elevation to a certain point, it could be as low as $200-300 a year, but they're mandating you have it. Gotcha. Now, if it's lower than that, it could be as much as your homeowner's insurance.
Everybody loves to talk about the money. And JW, how do they calculate homeowners insurance rates?
Golly, that's above my pay grade. But in the real estate industry,
yes,
what is the one thing that y'all always talk about?
Oh man, location, location, location.
Same with insurance. It's
Really?
all about location.
Okay.
Okay? So if you buy a house in town, great. You get the city's insurance rate, the city's protection class. Now, if you buy out of town, what's going to happen? How far are you away from the nearest provider, fire protection class? So if you're on Crow Mountain and it's a town class 5, or if you're in town and it's a town class 2, or if you get out towards Linker Mountain, or just 5 miles or so outside of the city limits, now you're going to a rural fire department. So now you're talking from a town class 2 that's in town to maybe a protection class 9, 10, 11. So that makes a huge difference. The bottom line is when you're looking at a house, whether it's me or whether you're existing insurance agent, have them on standby. And if you're really serious about looking for a house, give them a call. Make sure that you've got a solid quote before you get into that.
When insuring a home, how do you decide how much insurance you actually need?
Cool. Great question. We've got a sophisticated valuing system that we use, and it's county-based and even down to the zip code.
Wow.
So, I know, it's crazy. Some people say, my house is not worth that. Like, for instance, I've probably, maybe 160 on a house, but we have to insure it for 220. Why is that? Well, we're not going off market value. We're going off if that house burnt down or blew away, what would it cost in today's real terms, including inflation, cost to rebuild that house? And so we take into factors like the square footage, the age of the house, what's on the roof, the flooring. Is it a semi-custom bath? Is it a custom bath? Is it a basic? Is it builder's grade? And we rely on our customers to tell us that information.
This is an actual question that I had personally asked JW, and it's, what do I set my deductible at?
Personal choice.
What?
Absolute personal choice. All right, so here's the deal. I went and I looked at my policy today, and just to see what the difference was between, say, a $1,000 deductible and a $2,000 deductible. Okay? It saved me $350 to go from a $1,000 to a $2,000 deductible. If you're kind of handy, or you can budget back that amount, go for it. I mean, you're talking, if you don't have a claim in 3 years, you've made your money back. Now the thought process is put that money back. Because that is a lot of money. And I know we're in Tornado Alley. I know we're in Hail Alley for sure.
Right.
So, you just got to pick and choose. Is it better to have a $1,600 a year premium or a $1,200 premium? Or a $2,400 premium and a $1,600 premium? Those add up, and I look at it as black and white. And if you can afford to take that risk and put that money back and save it, man, lower your monthly payment.
That takes us to it. Thank you so much for watching this video. Remember that if you need to connect with JW, I'm going to put all of his contact information in the description below. I'm going to put a link to his website in this video. So if you have any questions for JW, you got to remember, when you're looking for home insurance, you got to reach out to a professional that's licensed and certified, and JW is with Shelter Insurance here in Russellville, Arkansas. And remember that if you're moving to Russellville, you got to connect with me. I'll put my information in the description below, and we'll talk with you soon. Bye.
Thanks.